Engagements. Relationships are built on engagements. Real estate is a relationship business. It's a people business. So you need to be conscious of the different forms of engagements and know that relationships are created over time based on series of engagements. And so what are all the engagement tools that are available to you today, and are you using them effectively? Previously we had talked about some of the face-to-face and the types of engagements that you made in the past, but today we have email. Big problem with email today is spam. Many years ago when we first had email, people would send jokes, kind of like spam, but people didn't know what to do with it, but they've learned how to use email. And then text. Texting's been around for a while, but it wasn't all that big. Now, some people would rather text than email. Some people would rather text than talk on the phone. You can even do text with a photo and with a voice. Now, a text with no photo is probably not as thorough of an engagement as a text with a photo. Or a text with voice might be a little bit better of an engagement than a text without. So different ways to utilize these tools. FaceTime. So you've got that with the iPhone and these types of tools today where you can actually talk to somebody and look at them. Those are engagements. Messenger. So now we've got all these different types of messenger devices. Now it can be text. We can send Facebook messages and LinkedIn messages. And as a realtor, engagements are important to you, and know that some people engage one way and some people engage another way. So knowing the most favored form of engagement of your clients becomes valuable to you in being able to list and sell real estate. I know some people, if I want to get them, I use LinkedIn messaging. I know some people, if I want to reach them, I use Facebook. I know some people, I got to call them, right? Just kind of depends. Now, there are other tools out there to make engagements and learning a little easier, like Zoom. More tools to allow for more engagement. And again, the main point here is that real estate's a relationship business. It's all about engagement. We have these new tools today, and particularly in the area of social media. Now, you think of that. A lot of people aren't thinking about that. There's great sociological change taking place in the world today as people learn how to use social media. And know this, not everybody knows how to use social media. People's social media skills are different. Some people use like in a certain way, some people use it in another way, but I guarantee you this, if you like something on Facebook or LinkedIn, you just engage that other person because nobody else will see that like maybe, but they will. And that's an engagement. Now, it's only a slight little engagement, but that's okay because relationships are built out of a series of engagements. Or you can comment on what somebody writes. That's maybe a little bit deeper form of engagement. If you're trying to build relationships in social media, you need to be able to like, you need to understand what that means. You need to also understand that some people don't know what that means. You need to comment whenever possible. That's an engagement. Or in some cases, reply, which is one step under that. So that's another thing, just learning the nomenclature and structure of these social media platforms, where a comment, and then if you're going to say something on the comment, that's called a reply, and then there's a reply to a reply. A share, boy, that says you really liked what somebody wrote. That's an engagement. If you're on Twitter, you retweet it. The person who you retweet, they'll see that you retweeted it. So all important forms of engagement today that we need to spend time learning how to utilize to build relationships. Now, know this about the internet. When you're on the internet, you're in social media today, you're going to run into a lot of people who are not always right, but never in doubt. And so you just have to deal with that. They're not always right, but they're never in doubt. And so do you really want to argue with people on the internet? I'll tell you, this next one saves me a lot of time. I have to remind myself often, who's the greater fool, the village idiot or the person who argues with the village idiot? And so you can be on Facebook and you can know exactly what you're talking about, but somebody might be insistent that you're not. And then the question is, do you waste your time? Often my wife Janie, when she gets ready to post something, she'll ask me, you think I should post this? And then I'll say, do you want to spend the next 3 hours answering people? Because if you do, then go ahead and post that. So sometimes we have to use discretion in deciding what we're going to post, knowing that we're not always going to get the message across. It's not always going to be understood the way we want it to be understood, and that we're going to end up arguing if we're not careful. And you'll probably never change anybody's mind on Facebook.